On est ici aujourd'hui juste pour discuter un peu de JDRF sur la marche avec Cindy qui vient de JDRF. Puis aussi nos ambassadeurs, M. Jacob Ardu, mon fils. On va commencer avec Cindy pour parler juste un peu sur la marche. Cette portion, ça va être bilingue. Mon speech va être seulement malheureusement en anglais parce que c'est vraiment, il y a beaucoup d'émotions puis je ne suis pas capable de vraiment dire en français. So, je m'excuse. So,
On n'essaye pas de faire mal. Bonjour tout le monde, hi. Je m'appelle Cindy, je travaille pour la FRDJ, la Fondation de recherche sur le diabète juvénile, le chapitre de Montréal. Alors, on n'est que 11 à notre bureau, dans des cubicules un petit peu comme ça, mais c'est pas mal plus impressionnant ici. Bon, alors, j'imagine la plupart de vous connaissez un petit peu la marche. So you already know a little bit what the walk is. Cette année, c'est le 9 juin, c'est un dimanche. Ça débute vers les 9h45, mais la marche, ça débute à 10h. Mais à 9h45, on a les intros, opening ceremonies, un peu de tout. Ça fonctionne comme chaque année. On arrive sur le site, on attend que la marche débute et on marche tout le monde ensemble. Alors, c'est ça. Cette année, on a un invité spécial. We have our national spokesperson for the walk, Max Domi, who's centerman for the Montreal Canadiens, who is type 1 himself. So he'll be there to meet and speak to people, sign autographs, whatever is asked of him, pretty much. I don't know if he's walking the path, but he'll be there. So that's going to be a super fun day. I have a few stats from last year. In 2018, there were 18 UPS teams with 85 participants. You raised over $8,000, so that's about $95 a person. Cette année, peut-être, on pourrait essayer un petit $100 par personne. Ça nous poussera un petit peu plus vers un objectif un petit peu plus élevé. Ça serait bien. Alors, d'habitude, on a toujours nos ambassadeurs qu'on amène avec nous. Mais aujourd'hui, votre collègue Pamela, son son Jacob avec elle, qui est diabétique de type 1, comme ma fille, elle est aussi diabétique de type 1. Alors, je comprends un petit peu son histoire quand elle dit qu'il y a beaucoup d'émotions. C'est vrai, c'est pas facile. Alors, je vais laisser la parole. Si jamais vous avez des questions sur la marche, quelque chose que vous ne comprenez pas pour l'inscription, quoi que ce soit, vous pouvez me le demander, il n'y a aucun problème.
So many of you know our story. Many of you do not. My name is Pam Mitchell, and I'm a UPSer and a mother of a type 1 diabetic. Type 1 diabetes can happen at any age now. When it was first discovered, it happened primarily to those 18 years and younger. I have two cousins with type 1 diabetes. I did not know this when my son was diagnosed. My doctor asked if I had this disease in my family history. I said no, only to find out after the fact through my father. Type 1 diabetes is also a disease through our genetic code. So just because I don't have it, doesn't mean that it's not in my DNA. It provides that my children have a 5% chance to get it. My son Jacob was my 5%. It doesn't mean his 5-year-old sister is out of the woods. She too has the same 5% to develop type 1 diabetes. Diabetes is a faceless disease. To you, my son Jacob looks like any other kid. He plays outside, he plays video games, gets annoyed by his little sister, and struggles with his homework. That is the same now as it was before, as it will be after. How did we know something was wrong with Jacob? Allow me to be honest. We didn't. We were so busy with life and all of its other challenges that we missed the development of the disease. It was gradual. His newfound bedwetting at the age of 7 was brushed off as part of his development. He was our first kid. How are we to know? Looking back at photos and knowing what we know now, all the signs were there. I thank my mother for suggesting we get him tested. I am thankful that I already had an appointment in place when she suggested it. How did she know? How could Grandma know and Mom not? Well, my father was diagnosed with type 2 diabetes in 2009. The beginning telltale signs are similar. So one day, as Jacob guzzled yet another 750 milliliters of water, she asked him, Jacob, why are you drinking so much water? To which he replied, Grandma, I'm always thirsty. And that was her tip-off. On June 8th, 2016, we went to our 3 o'clock annual appointment to our kid's pediatrician. I requested a urine cup to test his glucose. That was all done before we got into the examination room. We were called in, the doctor checked my daughter first, then Jacob. Then his test results. His test results were high. Not the highest they've ever been, but high enough for the doctor to conclude the examination and send us to the Montreal Children's Hospital in a rush. This will be forever with me. Sorry. I remember trying to gather myself and make sure I didn't show any emotion or my fear or my disbelief. My baby boy was sick, and I couldn't make it better. My friend and Jacob's best friend came through the door for their own appointment. The moment I saw her, I broke down into tears. I was beside myself with emotions. Even today, thinking about it, I get choked up. She helped me get my bags and the kids to the car. I called my husband to let him know I was coming home. Though through my tears and my muffled speech, I still don't know how he understood me. I called my parents and told them too. Before going to the hospital, I needed to take my daughter home, and my parents met us at my house. My dad came to the hospital with me. The process was relatively fast and easy. They accepted us into the ER without waiting. We tested his blood sugar with a few devices. The longest part of our wait was waiting for the final results back to confirm that it was type 1 diabetes. We knew nothing about this diagnosis, what it mean for our everyday lives. So what does it mean? At least 4 insulin injections into his delicate skin every day. A minimum of 10 blood glucose sugar checks per day. Sleepless nights. Endocrinologist appointments every 3 months. Counting the carbohydrates contents of every meal and snack. Treating hypoglycemia. Correcting hyperglycemia. Training school staff on how to care for our child. Accompanying our son to birthday parties, and endless worrying. We send our child to school every day and trust that his caregivers will be diligent in monitoring his disease. If they miscalculate his insulin at lunchtime, it could mean severe lows, or it could lead to a coma or out of control highs that could make him feel sick and increase dangerous ketones in his blood. He goes to sleep every night, and we are on high alert, checking his every few hours for lows. An undetected and untreated low in the middle of the night is our worst fear. What if one morning he can't wake up? These are only some of the fears and worries that come with being a parent of a child with type 1 diabetes. Jacob still struggles. He's not perfect. It is not perfect. He has multiple highs and lows. He knows and acknowledges his diagnosis, but living as a kid with type 1 diabetes means not getting the same treatment as his peers. Little to no birthday cake or other summer treats like ice cream cones, etc. All the things that the little kids want. So our hope lies within JDRF and the research that it funds. We do believe that there is a cure on the horizon, and with your help, we all can be part of the turning type 1 into type none. So please join us on June 9th as we walk together to show our support to these type 1 warriors, and raise important funds and awareness for type 1 diabetes. Thank you. Okay, stop it, Jacob.
That was excellent. And I know how difficult that is. I've had to do it before, and it's not easy. And it doesn't get easier with time. So we do appreciate so much all of the support that UPS lends us every year. We can count on you every year, and we love it. So we just hope that this year, this story touches your heart a little and maybe pushes you to raise a little extra so that research can go even further, so that these kids can live an easier life until we do find a cure. Because sometimes research leads us to better treatments. Jacob is wearing a device that my daughter wears to monitor his blood sugar that just simplifies life. That means less finger pokes, not none, but less finger pokes to test their blood sugar. All of these little things are thanks to research. So thanks to people like you who help us raise money to get to that research that we really need to simplify their lives and one day find a cure. Thanks.
Thank you very much.